welcome to another episode of Trip 101 Travel Talk series. Today we're featuring a stunning property in South Australia, Adelaide, which is Mount Lofty. I'm pleased to welcome over here Rebecca, the General Manager at Mount Lofty. And let's get into discussing that in just a bit. But before that, let's get to know Rebecca a little bit more. So Rebecca, please tell me about yourself and how long you've been at Mount Lofty.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for having me. I have been at Mount Lofty for 6.5 years. I moved up to London for 4 years and lived there and worked, and then came back home from South Australia. I was looking for a new challenge, and a position came up to run events and weddings and conferencing in Mount Lofty House. And so I decided to go for that position, which I was very fortunate to receive, which was fantastic. I hadn't really done many big weddings before, so it was a nice challenge to learn that industry as well. I worked my way through the business. So I went into then wedding sales manager. I sold this beautiful property for a couple of years. It's absolutely stunning. We've got a beautiful view over the Piccadilly Valley, beautiful history and beautiful lush gardens, perfect for weddings. And then I went into talent and culture manager. So that was really an eye-opener, learning more of that HR related elements of running a business. And then I was really fortunate to be offered this role of general manager of Mount Lofty House. Wow. So yeah, I've been in this role for 2 years. It's gone very quickly. Yeah.
That's so great. You've been hands-on working on all parts of the business and running the property from different angles.
Yeah, definitely. I'm more of an operational background, mainly running fine dining restaurants. So definitely, I don't sit at my desk. I'm always up and running around. But I think that's great. I think it's good for the team and great for me to interact with guests and staff. I really love it. I really love it.
Tell us a little bit more about Lofty. So it's a really old property. What is it like when you're there?
Yeah, so it's definitely old property, lots of history. So it was originally built in 18 by a family that lived in the city of Adelaide in South Australia. We are about 15 minutes from the city hill in the beautiful Adelaide Hills. And back then it was far enough away to be their summer residence. So there was no other properties at all up here on the hill, and they chose this plot of land because of the beautiful view over the Piccadilly Valley. And it was all made out of stone, as you can see. So that's all original stone for when they built it as well. And they used to have big lavish parties and invite all their politician friends. And he was a keen botanist, so he planted all the plants around our property as well. So they used to own lots of acreage. Now we're on 30 acres, but he collected a lot of seedlings throughout his travels and planted them. We've got the beautiful botanical gardens in front of us, which he originally started, but the government now owns. We used to have lots of parties, and we want to continue that tradition of luxury. So that's why we have opened up a restaurant and a bar, and really on homage to what he originally did with his family. There's been 15 over the years of Mount Lofty, and it's all been private residence until we had these big fires come through in 1983 called Ash Wednesday fires, and it burnt down everything. 3/4 of the home. It was just the stone that was left of the original house, and the couple had moved their belongings in 2 weeks prior, so they decided not to rebuild. So a local architect called Ross Sands bought the property and he brought it back to life. He added in a Piccadilly wing, which has got all of our accommodation, and for the first time it was opened as a hotel in 1985. And yeah, so there's lots of history there. So our current owners have owned it since 2009 and really had big visions of bringing it back to life to what it originally was with the original owners of Arthur and Martha Hardy. They did all the rooms, renovated all the rooms. We put on a big marquee for weddings as well. And then we've recently just added on our Sequoia Lodge, which is an adults exclusive lodge on our property as well. Lots of happening. I've been there a long time now that there hasn't been one moment we haven't been redeveloping something, which is great. It just shows that the owners are really willing to put in a lot of love and investment into the property, which is fantastic.
So a long history, and it was always meant to be like a property which hosted people, even with the parties that the original owners were hosting for their friends, politicians, and everyone. And the place meant for people to stay.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We focus on experiences for our guests. We do around 70 weddings a year and about 350 events and conferencing. It is quite a big exercise. We've got 6 different conference and event spaces, plus a 3-hatted restaurant, which is Hardy's Verandah restaurant. So we offer there a 7-course degustation experience. So we start down in our cellar, which is 175 years old. We dug it all out, and we've got 1,300 different bottles down there as well. So it's absolutely a wine heaven's dream, really. And then they come back upstairs and then they enjoy their beautiful 7-course dinner. And then we also offer a high tea every single day as well, which is beautiful, overlooking the view. And then a more casual a la carte offerings called Martha Hardy's dining as well. Then a big bar that guests can come and drink pre and post dinner, billiards room, lounge, cigars room as well. Yeah, there's lots of different experiences that we offer when they come on board.
Yeah. A lot of what you were saying, like luxurious experiences. The guests will certainly feel pampered and taken care of while they're staying with you.
Oh, definitely. And that's what I want. I want every guest to feel like they're being welcomed into someone's home, and that type of old-fashioned hospitality. And I always say to my staff when I do inductions with them, how would you welcome your friends and family to their house? How would you make them feel? How would you host them? That's how we want to do it for all of our guests that come on board. And we really don't refer ourselves to a hotel anymore. We are a destination of experiences, and we create magic and memories for our guests when they join us. And we are not a typical property where you go to a city hotel, get a key, and then you won't see staff anymore. Really, you don't have any interactions. Whereas we're complete opposite. We've really focused on our service as a main point of experience for our guests. And that's probably the number one thing that they mention to us when they leave, or in our reviews as well on TripAdvisor. And that's what I'm really most proud of, is that the staff are mentioned the whole way through, and the service that we provide as well, which is exceptional. And we're really trying to be in that category of one of different experiences and service. Our rooms are luxury and beautiful. It's not the main focal point when people talk about Matt Lofty House. It's about what they experience and the team as well. So we'll go out, greet them at their doors, we'll bring their luggage in, welcome them, and get them a glass of our Martha's iced tea straight away. So it's really setting that tone of, we're here to look after you, please relax. We'll take their luggage to the rooms, and then one of the team members will actually walk them through to their rooms. And that's really important, because we're pointing out all the different areas where they can enjoy the different lounges, bars, and restaurants. It's also about building relationships. We are in the relationship business. When you're walking guests through and talking to them, asking where they've travelled from and what they're here to experience and celebrate, you instantly are creating those relationships with our staff and guests. And then we'll see them along their journey. We'll see them at breakfast, we'll see them the next day when they maybe in the house or going on tours or at dinners. It's a lot more of that intimate experience with our guests that we have.
That sounds lovely. Like, they're not really like guests visiting you. It's like you're treating them as friends and people of your family. That's what you told your staff. So
Yeah.
that's quite a personal touch that you're offering. So that's really great. So who are the guests who are most likely to enjoy a stay with you? Or is it like families, or is it like couples? Or who are the people who are most likely to enjoy Mount Lofty the most?
Look, it's very varied, to be honest. We have a lot of guests that will come and be a part of an event, whether it be a wedding or a conference. We have couples that come for baby moons and families as well. And it would also be more of your demographic that are on a month's holiday going around Australia and wanting to stop and have a luxurious rest and rejuvenation stay, which we absolutely love too. They are probably the clientele that wants to have a chat a little bit more, which we're super open to. But yeah, so it is varied. A lot of celebrations. So we have a lot of anniversaries and birthdays and milestones that we host our guests with. A lot of local clientele. So that's probably still our number one, is local. But the international is definitely coming through now, which is fantastic. And we're seeing so many, especially at the moment over this festive period, a lot of tourists from overseas, which is great.
Oh, nice. I want to know a little bit more about the types of rooms that you have.
Yeah, sure. So in the house, we've got 29 rooms and we've got 4 different types of rooms. So our lead-in room is a classic room and no view for that one. And then we go to a garden view room, a valley view room, which has, every valley view room has its own little balcony. So you can sit out there and enjoy a cup of tea or a glass of champagne. And then we have 2 suites. We have our conservatory suite and our tower suite as well. All the rooms are exactly the same in its furnishings. It's just the location really within the property.
Okay. So which one has the best view of these? Is it the valley view room?
Yeah, there's a valley view room. Yeah, there's one of my favorites is actually right at the front of our property because you've got the front windows overlooking the view. So there's 2 of those rooms that we've got available, and then every other valley view room is on the side of the house as well, overlooking the valley.
Yeah, that must offer quite a view and like quite stunning sort of views that you can wake up to every morning.
Oh, and the sunrise is right in front of us, especially if you go down to breakfast. We've got these big floor-to-ceiling windows down there, and you can see the sunrises. So it's beautiful.
Yeah. What about, you mentioned like you have a lot of options for dining as well. So I want to know a bit more about those. What are the restaurants and what sort of dishes are your special offerings?
Yeah, of course. So our flagship is Hardy's Verandah restaurant. So that has been in operation for 8 years now, and it's a 3-hatted fine dining restaurant. So we do the degustation dining, as I was mentioning before. So it's fantastic because the guests can just come in. They don't have to really make any decisions. They can just sit back and enjoy all the beautiful food. And then we do wine pairings as well with the 7-course. So that really just ignites the experience as well for our guests, which is fantastic. We've got a great kitchen head chef. He's from England and he's been doing our menus recently, which has been lovely. And that's where the high tea is fantastic collaboration with him as well, with being from London. So that's our flagship fine dining restaurant. And then for events, we have our own separate kitchen down in our Piccadilly panorama space as well. That will host breakfast and then all of our events, conferencing and weddings too.
Do you have a special dish on your menu that you personally like a lot or would like to recommend to people?
So we have one of our beautiful Wagyu beef dishes. So Wagyu we get locally. We follow the concept of valley to veranda because obviously when you're sitting in our beautiful restaurant, which is actually the photo behind me, that's our restaurant there with the big windows, and you can see the beautiful Adelaide Hills Valley in front with Piccadilly. So we say that is valley to veranda. So we have a lot of locally sourced produce, and our beautiful Wagyu beef 2 different ways is one of our flagship dishes on our menu.
Okay, so guests should definitely try that at least one of the times that they are having their meals at Mount Lofty. That's great. Yeah. What's the busiest time of the year for you? Is it right now, like the holiday season?
Holiday season is, yes, because the corporate market does slow down. We get a lot of our beautiful leisure guests come through. So I'd probably say between October and April is probably when our busiest season. Autumn is absolutely beautiful, which is March and April up in Adelaide Hills, because all the trees change to a beautiful orange-red colour, and because the botanical garden's in front of us as well, it's like the busiest 6-week period that they have as well. It's a really lovely time. I personally also really love winter because we are I always say like an old English manor. We've got 33 fireplaces across the estate, so we love our fire in winters, and we've got lots of little nooks and crannies that you can just curl up to with a glass of red wine and a book and just enjoy. We opened up that billiard space and lounge space last year just for that extra little bit of element of guests that they can stay within our property. We never want people to leave because we want to be offering them so much on our estate that they don't have to leave. But I love winter, the fire pits outside and roasting marshmallows and tawnies. It's a beautiful time.
So during these busy weeks or months, how much in advance should guests be booking with you? Like how quickly do the rooms get booked out?
Yeah, I definitely think at least 2 months prior is when we would say to book. And yeah, we do fill out we've only got 29 rooms, so it is quite a smaller property, but it is that boutique luxury property as well. So I'd say about 2 months.
Coming to like the area that you're in, Adelaide Hills, what sort of like experiences can guests have outside of the estate itself? What all is there to do in and around in Adelaide Hills?
Yeah, oh, there's so much to do. If you love wine, we've got 52 cellar doors where guests can go and enjoy different Adelaide Hills wine. It's more of a lighter style of wine, but we're very fortunate in South Australia that we've got 4 major wine regions. So you've got that, which is really accessible from us as well. You can be you're in a wine region already, but you can go to, say, McLaren Vale, which is about a half an hour away, or Barossa, which is about 45 minutes. So depending on what type of wine that you like, there's lots of different wine regions. Also nature. Being in the hills, we've got so many different beautiful walking treks around our property, so we can guide our guests on what ones to go on. Wildlife, you will see even just on our property walking around koalas and kangaroos and deers, but if you do go into more of the walking treks, you can definitely see all the wildlife around. Cleveland's National Wildlife Park is just down the road from us, and you can go there and actually hold a koala. So there's only 2 states in Australia that you can hold a koala, which is Queensland and South Australia, and they offer a beautiful experience down there as well. You can actually get into the park prior to it opening to the external guests, and they can take you on a tour up there as well. But then you can go off, there's lots of different towns in Adelaide Hills. There's a town called Harmdorf, which is a German-inspired town that you can go and wander through as well. Go strawberry picking. So lots of cheese producers and gin producers. So there's lots to do, really lots to do in our area. Like, you'll absolutely love it. And the best part of where we are situated is that, as I said before, we're 15 minutes from the city, so you can just take a taxi down to the city or hire a car. You're very close. And then 25 minutes from an international airport as well. So you can't get that anywhere else in Australia, being so close to those two, and being in a wine region straight away in 25 minutes from the airport. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, there's so much to do. There's like a lot of exploring, walking, experiencing wildlife. So definitely, and trying out wine for sure.
South Australia is known for the wine, so you have to try it if you love it. Yeah, definitely the wine's a highlight.
Do you help organize some of the activities and tours that people can do nearby? Or
Yeah, we can. So we've got our beautiful reservations team that can create an itinerary for you, and we work with so many different local suppliers and tour operators as well that we've built relationships over the years with. So they can take you out on a personal tour to like behind the scenes of different establishments that you can't access yourself, and go throughout McLaren Vale or Adelaide Hills or Barossa as well. So lots of different tours that we can suggest and book for you.
okay, yeah, that's great. One just needs to arrive at Mount Lofty House, and then we're all set to sort of go out and about and also explore the property itself.
Definitely. And I forgot to mention as well, we also do have a day spa. So if you want to really relax, you can go down there for a massage or a facial, and we just installed some saunas and hot tubs down there as well this year. So that's also a really nice element of luxury and experience on our property.
Yeah. So how many days would you say are good enough for someone who's visiting to explore the area and also enjoy all that you're offering at the property?
Yeah, I'd probably say like at least between 2 and 4 days. If you're wanting to explore South Australia, I'd say 4 days, especially, because you want to have maybe 2 days that you go off site and enjoy, but then you want to also relax on property and enjoy the experiences that we offer. So I'd probably say if you can come 4, would be amazing.
Since you were mentioning about like the number of weddings that you host every year, I want to know a little bit more about what's the wedding experience that you provide. What kind of like packages do you have, or because that's something that our viewers are really interested in. So I want to know a bit more about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we only book one wedding a day on our property. So our sole focus is just on that couple and their wedding. And usually Saturdays are probably the most popular days for weddings, and then obviously Fridays and Sundays. But we have our beautiful Piccadilly panorama space, which is got the floor to ceiling windows, so you can see the view, which is absolutely stunning. And really you don't need to do too much more elements of styling if you don't want to. It's just beautiful as it is. We've got twinkle lights on our roof as well, which is lovely. But we do our ceremonies on site, then the sit down reception, which could be your shared platters or plated as well. And then you have your dance floor area, your mingling area, and then we do gift our couples a complimentary room to stay with us. And then also there's 7 additional rooms that the couple does book, just because the next day you can go down and you can have a beautiful breakfast together. You don't need to rush off site and worry about packing up. You can just literally walk up to your rooms and enjoy. So that's really lovely. So we sit about 160 in our space down in Piccadilly Panorama. But it is beautiful. We've got dedicated staff members just for the bride and groom and their bridal party, that once you tie the knot at your ceremony, they'll come and offer you some drinks and some canapes as well, and follow you through the property where you have your photos. A lot of our couples don't leave our property because we've got so many beautiful photography elements throughout the estate. We've got vineyards as well on our property, so we make our own sparkling wine, so they're really fantastic for photos as well, vineyards. But yeah, weddings are beautiful. We love hosting them. We love creating the magic and memories for our couples.
Yeah, with those stunning valley views and the historic, majestic building behind, I'm sure definitely I can guess why the weddings are so popular with you.
Yes, definitely. It literally, I've met so many couples that have never been to our property before, and I'll talk to them and then I'll take them out to our beautiful view, and everyone's just so wowed by it. They're not expecting it. That you've traveled so small amount of time up the freeway from the city to our property, and you can't really see the view when you get out of your car in the car park. It's when I take you downstairs and you see the space and the view that you really, that wow moment is just so unexpected, and there's no property in South Australia like it with what we can offer with that view, for sure.
Yeah, like if a guest is staying with you, what does a day at Mount Lofty House look like for them? Like when they check in, what can they expect their day when they're just staying at the property to be like?
As I said before, they'll drive straight up our big entrance driveway. They'll see our beautiful historic house in the background, and then they'll come into our beautiful welcome area, and the staff will meet them there. So we've got a guest relations team that will look after the guests when they arrive, get them a glass of iced tea, and as I said, take the bags to their room. So everything is done for them, and then we walk them through and we talk them through the property and show them all the different spaces that they can enjoy, where breakfast is held as well. We also do a history tour every day at 4:30. So the guest relations team will host that for about an hour. It's really lovely because all the guests come together, they get a glass of our sparkling wine, and they hear about the history of the home, and then we take them on a tour as well of the property, which is lovely. We've got beautiful artwork throughout the whole estate. A local artist called Stephen Trebilco, and he does beautiful flora and fauna paintings. And we're actually his gallery now, so we have 160 of his pieces throughout our property. They're all in the rooms and the day spa everywhere, and we've sold about 120 because they are so popular on our walls, which is fantastic. So just another element of those layers that we offer within our property. And then the guests will go and enjoy their room and their space, but we do majority find we'll come back to the history tour, because again, that's probably one of the most well-known and reviewed elements of our experience on our property, with our guest relations manager called Chris. He just won a national and statewide service award as well, which is fantastic. So he's won it 3 times statewide and 2 international in Australia. So very proud of him. And then the guests will come and enjoy dinner. So they usually will go to our Parties Around a restaurant with that experience, because they, as I said before, we've got a lot of celebrations, and then they'll have a beautiful breakfast the next day. But there's so many nooks and crannies throughout our property that the guests can just enjoy. We've got a pool, outdoor pool as well, that they can go, and especially now in this weather, we're quite warm here at the moment, and we've got tiered lawns and beautiful English gardens that they can just walk around at leisure and then go down and use the day spa as well. So yeah, it's more of that relaxing. Life just slows down when you come to our property. That's what I feel like.
Sounds like a day well spent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
I've almost covered everything that I wanted to know, Rebecca. Is there anything that you would like your prospective guests to know before they come stay with you, or anything that they should bring along when they're packing their bags?
I think I would probably suggest to always look at what time of year that they're coming to enjoy our property. Winters do get a little bit chillier up here, so I definitely would suggest a coat just to get around during the days. As I said, it's old English manner. It reminds me of the weather back in London, sometimes in winter in Adelaide Hills, which is funny. But no, I think when you come, you'll see, it's hard to see in pictures and videos. Like, it's really hard to understand what the experience you will have at our property. And I hope I've explained it well enough today, but really just bring yourselves. As I said, it depends on what you're really wanting from your trip. If you're wanting to have that relaxation moment and just really rejuvenate and don't worry about anything, like, wear your property, because you don't need to go anywhere. We've got everything that you can do on our site. If you're wanting to go out and explore, as I said, extend your stay with us and we can book all those tours for you as well. But we can really make your trip amazing, and I think South Australia has so much to offer. I think it sometimes gets missed when we talk about Australia, because everyone wants to probably go do the bucket list items of the Sydney and Melbourne, but Adelaide is beautiful, and I think it's one of those hidden gems, and until you come and experience it, you just won't know. So trust me that it is lovely and that you'll have a great time, and I really look forward to welcoming all your guests as well. I think it's a fantastic opportunity to present and really talk about the experiences that we have on our estate.
Yeah. So one last question for you, which is, how would a stay at Mount Lofty House be unique for people visiting South Australia?
Yes, again, we have really tried to focus on building our service delivery to our guests and standards. We went from about 70 staff members 3 years ago. I've got 160 now across our estate, which for Mount Lofty House and Sequoia combined is 44 rooms. It's a huge amount of staff members, but we don't want to be a normal hotel property. We want to be that engaging and that interactive and provide amazing experiences and those feelings of enjoyment for our guests as well. We are very unique, and I think when guests come and experience it, they'll realise that as well. So I think if you're coming to South Australia, you should stay with us, because we are in the Adelaide Hills and that you can travel everywhere. If you want to go into the city, it's very convenient to go back into the city, but I think that you really have that amazing experience with us.
Yeah, I quite agree based on what you have told me. So for the views, for the location, and for this majestic building behind you, as well as the service, I think you're checking all the boxes right there.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining me today, Rebecca. I'm pretty sure that the viewers will find the information that you have shared today about Mount Lofty House quite useful. I'm really hoping that you will be getting a lot of bookings from our viewers. Thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us for the session.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity and inviting me. I love talking about Mount Lofty House. I'm very passionate about it. It's a beautiful property, and I look forward to welcoming everyone to South Australia and to Mount Lofty House.
Right, with that, we will sign off for today. Bye-bye and have a nice day.
Thank you so much.